Welcome to this edition of Time with Dr. Mahama. Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. Fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. In the past episode of Time with Dr. Mahama, I indicated that God has institutionalized his delegated authority into the family, the government, and the church. I dealt with delegated authority in the family last time. Today I'm looking at God's delegated authority at the government level. Delegated authority at the government level. Romans chapter 13 verse 1 to 5. Everyone must submit to the governing authorities, but there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, he who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. And those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and he will commend you. For he is God's servant to do you good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword for nothing. He is God's servant, an agent of wrath, to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also because of conscience. So, how have the governments of Ghana since the inception of the Fourth Republic stewarded this delegated authority from God? God requires from government stewardship of all the nation's resources and not tyranny. The most important of the nation's resources is the human resource. In the previous edition of Stewardship, I bemoaned how Ghana was losing its brain power through the quote-unquote brain drain. I also said that only Ghanaians can build Ghana, and God has delegated the authority to harness Ghana's resources to develop the country to the government. The brain drain is not altogether negative for Ghana because of the remittances sent in by the expatriate Ghanaians. According to the governor of the Bank of Ghana, the remittances sent in to Ghana by Ghanaians abroad rose from $4.6 billion in 2024 to $7.8 billion in 2025. I am suggesting that this huge amount be used as a collateral to finance two divided highways, one from Accra to Paga, and another highway from Aflao to Ilobo. I'm not saying that this money be taxed. No taxation on this inflow. Taxing it will be counterproductive, as that would discourage the inflow. If any portion of it should be taxed, then it is the transfer charges paid to the banks and financial institutions who transact this type of business. The inflow is like flood water, which has to be harvested into a dam. At the moment, the inflows are not coming in for investment, but to families for consumption. Doing financial engineering with it can allow it to be used as collateral for serious development of the nation. I am aware that the money does not belong to government, but the Bank of Ghana shepherds the money to its designated end. The shepherd, after all, has the right to drink the milk of the sheep. But the quote, sheep, unquote, has to be shepherded with the integrity of King David in the Bible, who went after the lion or the bear when it came for one of his sheep, or like Jesus himself, who gave himself for his sheep. We have the brain power in Ghana to do financial engineering with these remittances to use as a collateral. In this case, Bank of Ghana and the financial institution should work together on these transfers. These two highways would open up the country for business as never before and save lives too. Like and share with family and friends, and tune in next time for another edition of Time with Dr. Mahama.